Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. Today I want to show you a special guitar, talk about a special person that I met actually, and where this guitar came from, which is not the guitar in the painting. But as you can tell by the title of this video is about Andres Segovia. This is about when I met this dude when I was 7 or 8 years old. And somewhere in this house, I have the program from that night. He played at Jones Hall in downtown Houston. I think the year was 1972, 71 or 72. I was 7 or 8. And my father took me. My father was a huge fan of Andres Segovia. My father taught me to play the classical guitar. This was his guitar. I'll tell you the story about this guitar in a minute. And I just remember one day he said, we're going to go to a concert. We're going to meet Andres Segovia. And I was like, really? Cool. So we went downtown, and we actually, since my father's first language was Spanish because my grandparents came from Spain. So my father was always enamored with Andres Segovia in Spain, taught me all about it. But we got backstage with Andres Segovia after the concert at Jones Hall, and he patted me on the head and said, "Sigues practicando, serás muy bueno, muy buen guitarrista." He said, "You're going to be a very good guitar player, just keep practicing." And so little did I know at that time what an influential man this was, who was not only probably the best classical guitarist of his century, but he also transposed a lot of classical music into what was written that could be played on a Baroque style music, played on a classical guitar. And if you get a chance, go through some of Andres Segovia's library of things that he played. And I've learned a lot of them. I'm super rusty. I just pulled this guitar out of its case, and I haven't touched it in years. I've been playing this Epiphone Gibson combo. I've got the PR5E. But I play mostly. I've had all kinds of guitars. Electric guitars, Thrasher guitars, Ibanez, different kinds, Fender Strats. I've had Les Paul Custom. I just decided at one point in my life about 8 years ago to get rid of all my solid body guitars and play nothing but acoustic, because I went solo and I learned how to sing, and I just perform on my own now instead of trying to be in bands. It's not worth it. You don't get paid enough, and it's not worth the hassle. So, and I have that Gibson acoustic because I can still, it's got a cutaway that goes up pretty high. I can still shred on it just as if it were a Les Paul Custom. But when I'm playing classical, you don't use a pick. This was a warm-up I learned when I was 5. Then, how about some Malagueña? That's the real sweep picking. I was sweep picking when I was 5. You can hear my muscle memory squeaking. Oh man, the fingers. That's in the memory. I just pulled this out of the case. Haven't played that in years, but I know how to read music. See if you can spot this one out. How about the intro? Nice diminished chord there. Oops. Kermit the Frog song, something like that. But I used to play a lot of classical guitar. You know, the... Some people go, oh, the Doors. The Doors. No, the Doors ripped that one off. But this guitar is a Juan Estruch. This guitar my father purchased about in 1967. 1967, 69. I'm not even sure what year it says on there. This is, oh, it's the Año 69. Wow. This is made in Spain. This is a Juan Estruch. The luthier that made that wanted my father to be a distributor because my father had contacted him to buy these guitars, and he said, hey, I don't even have a distributor in the United States. Do you want to be the distributor for Juan Estruch Guitars? This is actually like a Stradivarius for classical. This guitar, I don't know what it's worth, but this is one of the best made guitars that Juan Estruch ever made. Look at that headstock work. Look at that with the gold tuning keys. This is all from 1969, okay? It's stock. And it's got such a tone. Listen to the difference, like when I play the E string here. Now, this is with strings on here that are probably about 15 years old. Listen. Now, look, when you play it down back by the bridge, you get that crunchy, tinny, metally sound. And you move over the sound hole. It's deeper. But watch this when you play up here. Oh, man, that just resonates through my whole body. It just sounds like a water drop of tone. This thing's got so much tone. Listen to that. Can you hear the difference? Watch. Now listen. Oh, man, it just sounds completely different. It's just jaw-dropping. The tone on that, my goodness. See that difference? Oh, man, that. So what happened was, we went downtown and I met Andres Segovia, and my father painted this painting. I guess it was 69. I remember him sitting with this on the easel in the garage and having it out for quite a while, and he worked on it, and he copied it from an album cover of Andres Segovia. So that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. That's he looks a little bit younger in that painting than when I knew it. But that's my father. My father was an amateur actor, and he was actually on TV. He did TV commercials. He was a theater actor, and he painted. And when I was little, we belonged to the Houston Classical Guitar Society. I actually performed with him, like Bach duets and things like, what was it, like... Remember that? Like little minuets and duets and Bach pieces. I actually performed on the University of Houston campus when I was like 7 or 8 with him. And that was after I'd met Andres Segovia, and I belonged to the Houston Classical Guitar Society. At that time, my father wanted me to be the next Segovia and from Texas, you know. And I was raised to be a prodigy that way. But I gave it up when my mother lent me her Fender Stratocaster. My grandmother. My grandmother actually wrote music, and she had a top 40 country tune. She had a top 10. Does anybody know when you're going to play a game, you go 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato, more? You know that? My grandmother wrote that. She made up those lyrics. She was in the kitchen, sitting in the kitchen, peeling my potatoes. Da 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 da. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato. My mother has the manuscript of that in pencil. My grandmother wrote it out, sent it to the record company. They sent it back to her with red ink all over it and said, "You don't have a bridge, and this it's too long, and this." And then they gave it to another singer, a man who made it into a hit, and it's called the Tater Tune. The Tater Tune. So anyway, my family's very musical. But I went into business, international business, and did not become a professional musician. But I had the background. One thing I was going to say, when you're trained in classical music, and you can read pages and pages of black notes, but you don't know music theory because they don't teach you what you're just playing right there. What is a third, a fifth, an interval, and things like that. When you're learning classical music, it's all about the technique and repeating the music exactly the way it's supposed to sound from the written music. And I didn't get that when I was little. So I'm just now learning a lot of music theory from people. And so anyway, I thought you'd enjoy that story. This is the painting my dad did of Andres Segovia, and I met him at Jones Hall in Houston. And this is a Juan Estruch guitar. It sounds fabulous. And I thought I'd share with you part of my life and what it's all about. All right? Thank you for coming. And stop back again. We'll have some more videos with interesting topics. Bye.